Hello. I hope you can see me all right over here. Um, yeah, so as you can see on the title, today we are going to do some revision flight. So, if you're not sure what BFR is, it's an annual flight. Well, not annual, it's a biannual flight review. Um, so for PPL, for CPL, which is private pilot license, commercial pilot license, even for recreational pilot license, you need to do a flight review every 2 years. I'm pretty sure it's about the same for other countries, but where I am in New Zealand, it's every 2 years. Yeah. So so if you haven't seen my channel before, I am a PPL rated pilot. I do hold a PPL, but it's has been expired, so I'm gonna do my BFR on my PPL, and then I'm gonna start my instrument training, and then I'm gonna do multi-engine instruments. Once I have done all that, then I'll move on to a commercial pilot license, which is CPL. And then once I get my CPL, then yeah, hopefully I'll be able to like maybe get a job somewhere, maybe do like small like tourist flights and build up my hours. I don't really want to like do like flight instructing because it's quite demanding. So that's sort of like what I'm looking at right now. Yep, so I have the assessment right over here, and I have a checklist for the Cessna 172, which you can see in front of you. So there's a whole process, obviously before flight. So you have, you know, pre-takeoff checks. So you have to like go around the aircraft, check that everything is fine, and then you have to sign some documents if they want you to do that, or sign out the aircraft, whatever it is. You have to do that, and then once that's done, then you can head on to the aircraft, start it up, taxi, and do a run-up checks, and then take off and the usual stuff. So I have actually done 2 flights, so there's a bit of a backstory here. I got my PPL 3 years ago, and then obviously 2 years has passed. I have to do my BFR, and then I was traveling a lot. If you haven't seen my channel before, you may not know. I've been traveling throughout 2019, and then I was gonna continue my training in 2020 to do my instrument ratings, my CPLs. But then, as you know, COVID hit, so I didn't fly for a year. And then now I'm back, so I have to do my BFR, and I haven't flown for a year, so I'm a little bit rusty. I've done 2 flights over the last month, and we have a bit of a lockdown as well, so um, it has been a little bit of a process, but yeah. I am second flight in. I'm still trying to like get used to handling the aircraft again, because I am actually flying out of this aerodrome, which is a new aerodrome that I am flying right now. The one that I'm used to flying, which has a much longer runway and a much wider runway, and the conditions are a lot calmer than over here. because the problem is there's quite a lot of terrain like over there, as you can see. Yeah, and then back there it's also there's a little bit, and it gets pretty gusty as well. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. Aerodrome, you have a much shorter runway, and all those combined, it does add up a little bit, like stress and workload and all those things. Yeah, so I'm still sort of like taking like baby steps to try to like ease back into like the flying. Hopefully I can pass my BFR, which I have scheduled for tomorrow. Yeah, and then I can start my instrument training, and then I can move on. But yeah, this is the most important one, the BFR. Since I need this BFR before I can start my instrument ratings, since I need to make sure that I'm still like familiar with the aircraft, like handling emergencies and all those things. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of things to remember, and there are quite a few things that I haven't actually done for quite some time. So yeah, so I'm doing this flight on X-plane just so that I can like familiarize the procedures, try to like get myself sort of back to that PPL level. And there's a lot of like emergency stuff as well that I just need to like just to practice. It's always good to practice. So the building here that you see right behind us, that's actually a hangar. Doesn't look like that. It's actually, I think there's a big door, two big doors actually, and they are both like sliding doors. And then you can park quite a few aircraft inside, but it's not green. And then there is a building over there, that's the main Aero Club building, and it looks a little bit bigger than that, so yeah, it looks a bit small. And then this hangar here looks maybe a little bit too big, but yeah, I mean, we are not too worried about that. In terms of like positions, you do have the refueling over there, you have the run-up area over there. There is no ATRs though. They don't fly here. The runway is too short. But they do have airline transport operators operating here. So they actually fly to Great Barrier Island, which is on the east side. Just like a small island. It's not that far away, but it's a little bit of a journey. So yeah, they do operate from this airport. Alright, so let's jump into the cockpit here. So this is the 172 SP. I think the one that I'm flying right now is S. They do have a SP. I think that is what they are using for the IFR training. I think there are other places that uses the SP, but yeah, they use it for BFR flights. But yeah, so I guess we don't really have to like go through the whole like pre-flight and all those things, since that's really loud. I'll just bring down the volume over here, and then we can turn that off. So we actually check like the lights and everything. We bring down the flaps, so we just do our checks on everything, make sure everything is good. All the flight controls are free, all the boats, all the lights, fuel, oil. Yeah, we check everything, make sure that everything is good before we start the aircraft. Alright, assuming that we have done all of that, so we are in the aircraft, ready to go. So we still have the flaps down, which is fine. So I have my sort of like a checklist over here. First thing we check, there are a few things that it's not modeled inside, so we do have the compass over here, so this is facing east, and we check that the DI is facing east as well, so we just match it up, make sure that it is the right place. And then over here we have the carbon monoxide detector, we have a compass deviation card. I think that's about it. So we check off that as well. Obviously there is other stuff, other documents like tech log, airworthiness certificates, and other certificates that we need to carry on board. Like it's all inside the flight manual, so everything is there. Obviously we check that as part of sort of like our pre-flight as well. Right, so pre-flight, so that's done. Seats, we have adjust our seats and we have put on our seat belts, harnesses and doors. So that's seat belts, and then doors are locked. There's the window here which you can open in real life. Air vents that you can adjust. Same on the other side, obviously. There is one up there and another one up there that you can use. Fuel selector, so that's over here. Fuel selector on both. You can do left, right, but it's usually on both. Fuel cock, that's usually pushing, that's on. If you don't want fuel, then you pull it out, that's off. Obviously then you won't have any fuel. Trim is on takeoff. And then mixture, we go rich. Throttle, we go full. And then we have to make sure that avionics is off so that it doesn't drain the battery, because we do need it. Throttle, throttle is full, avionics off. Parking brake is on. So over here it says navigation lights, but they only have the beacon lights on, so that's that one, that's always on. But obviously without the masters it wouldn't show up, so you need the masters and then it will just turn on because power. Circuit breakers, so there are two of them. One is over here and then there's one just down there, as you can see. I just like put my hand through and just like wipe it, and you can easily tell whether there's one that pops up. And then we have masters, so we can turn both on. It says prime if cold, so if the engine is a bit cold, if it hasn't been run, so what we do is we go over here, there's a fuel pump, so we turn it on for a few, like maybe 3 seconds, and we look at here, it usually flickers, but if it doesn't, then about 3 seconds. Yeah, you can see it rises a little bit. In real life it barely does. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so yeah. Throttle back to 5mm. So I'll have to reset my controls over here. If just bear with me. Where is my throttle? It's not that one. This one. That's set to none, and that's set to none. Make sure that this is our yaw. That's my rudder over there, and this is my throttle. Alright. Throttle in a little bit. And then mixture cutoff. It depends. Like some of them do, some of them don't. It really sort of depends. Open it flaps up first. It's really loud, so I'll just bring the volume down a bit more. I'll just go there. Hopefully you can still hear it. I'll adjust it as needed. Okay, we are clear back, left, front, right, and rear right. Okay, we can, so we hold the brakes, flick this to both, and then we stop the engine. Yeah, that is like really easy, but usually it's quite difficult. Oop. The directional gyro is not aligned with the magnetic north. Adjust the directional gyro to the compass to get an accurate indication of the direction of flight. Yeah, I don't know why it changed. It shouldn't change. I think it's sort of like automated. So we just have to put it back. And then we put the throttle to about 1000 while we are idling. Okay, so after start, no fire, oil pressure, oil temperature, make sure that, well, mostly oil pressure, we have to make sure that it's on the green range. Vacuum, ammeter usually is charging. Vacuum, depends. And then we run the magnetos, left, right, left, both. And then avionics, we can turn avionics on right now. Oops. Right, and then here we sometimes get the A-whip or the A-dis, so that's like gives you the wind, the runway, altimeter, all those things. I'll probably get that from here. It's 3015, so we can set that there to 3015. Oh, it's actually the other way. Yeah, it's about there. Yeah, that's altimeter, and then we do a radio check with the base. So obviously we cannot do that over here. And then, oh, is it still too loud on my indication here? It says that it's very loud, so hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. Obviously I cannot hear what's on the stream, so if it's too loud and you couldn't hear me, then I apologize. But moving on, we have radio and transponder, so that's usually already set, so we don't really have to worry about that. If we are flying out somewhere and we need the radio, then we obviously put it on the standby on the radio, but otherwise if we are on the training area, which is just nearby, then we don't really do anything about it. Alright, just have a quick check. I'll just have a quick check on the windsock just to see where the wind is. So the wind is coming this way, so we're using that runway over there. I think that's 03. But our run-up checks is over there, so brake is already off. I think because I step on the brakes and it just take it off. Alright, so we do a brake check before we go anywhere else, and just bring the throttle back to idle. Usually the throttle on idle it will run, so I'm not sure why it doesn't really move over here. But yeah, I'll add a bit more power. Alright, so this is our run-up area just to the right over here, not where the aircraft is. Yeah, so somewhere around here I would say. And then we can set the parking brake. So like I said, usually you need to set the parking brake and still have your foot on the brakes, because the brakes is not very strong, so it actually, it still slips if you release your brake. But on next plane you have to release the brake, otherwise yeah, it just remove the parking brake. Okay, throttle back to 1000 RPM. So this is where we do our run-ups. So we are parked, check oil temperature and pressure is on the green range, mixture is rich, so we set our engine to 1800 RPM. Still check temperature and pressure is still on the green. And then we do a Mach check, so left, back to both, right, and then left, and then back to both. I think it's the maximum allow RPM drop is about 150, so we're at 1800, so it shouldn't drop more than 650. Suction, so that's the vacuum, make sure that it's green. Check obviously the air meter as well, make sure that the air meter is good. And then there's the voltage up here, which they use on some of the aircraft. They check that, some they don't, so I'm not very sure. There's the annunciator panel, we check that all the lights are showing up. On the real aircraft they have a bright and a dim setting, so on the dim setting is when you use it for night flight, so it's not too bright, but on the day flight we just put it on bright. Okay, so engine back to idle, make sure it doesn't sort of like turn off, and then back to 1000 RPM. I think that thing is a little bit oversensitive, so might have to adjust this one. Yeah, this one. It's a little bit too sensitive. Hopefully that's alright. Okay, pre-takeoff checks. So we probably will do a short field takeoff. So we need flaps 10. Mixture reach throttle is 1000 RPM. Trim is on takeoff. Fuel cockpit. Fuel tank. Fuel selector is on both. And then check the circuit breakers, check the magnetos on both. Engines are still on the green range. We have half a tank of fuel on both sides. Vacuum emitter is good. And then check instruments, make sure there's no flags. Altimeter is set. We don't really worry about those three because those are for instruments training, so we don't really need that unless we are doing IFR. Compass, so north, and then obviously set our comms if we haven't done that. And we set the transponder before we take off, so we just leave that there for now. This is the autopilot, so we probably don't really need that for this flight. That's for the tuning the instruments panel, which we don't need that today. And then obviously we check our seatbelt secure, door is locked. On the sim you don't have to do that. Passengers, if you have passengers, then make sure that they are secure. If you have cargo, make sure cargo is secure. And then check the flight controls. I have my yoke on the right hand side, so I have to use the mouse on my right hand, so I have this left hand using the yoke, so I may look a little bit funny. So just moving the flight surface, make sure that it is free, and then we go up, check the elevators, make sure they are moving, and then we check the rudder as well. So we kick the rudder left, right. Can't really see on the real aircraft you can see, but over here it's quite hard. Trying to see what email that I got. It says my payment has failed. I'm not sure what's that about. Right, it's for my Navigraph. I guess it's been a year. Yeah, I subscribed to Navigraph last year, and I guess it's time's up. Don't think I'll update my Navigraph just yet because it's still quite new. So probably should update it before it expires though. Alright. Okay, so we can release the parking brake and then head off to our holding point. Obviously checking that it is clear. Are we going to the grass? Oh, we are. My bad. Alright, it's a pretty short taxi over here. It's not too far away. And if you have any questions about flying, about the Cessna aircraft or anything like that, put them in the comments below and I'll try my best to help you out. Obviously anything too difficult, too technical, then probably I can't help you out, but yeah, anything PPL, you know, level, I should be able to answer your question. Yeah, some aircraft have automated transponder, some don't, so always have to watch out. Right, so over here, I think I'll just set that to altitude so that we won't forget. So we use most of the runway here. It's actually a lot wider than this. This looks very narrow. At least on the real plane, I mean on the real world, it's a lot more wider than this. Just need to align myself a bit better. This is very bad alignment. About there, it's about right. So before we even enter the runway, obviously there's no traffic here, but in the real world, we basically just, I don't know why that thing just keeps flickering, it's annoying. There's a hold short point over there, so we hold short and then we do our brief, so we yeah, so we just do like a safety brief, I suppose. So we are taking off from runway 03, so we're heading out and then we are trekking to the training area, which is on the left. So we'll make a left turn, and then we have hazards, so we have terrain which is right in front of us, so we have to watch out for that. There's usually no birds, nothing like that, so we should be pretty good. And for short field takeoff, we need to elect a sort of like a decision point. So usually like sort of like halfway down the runway, since it is still long enough, so we don't really need like the whole runway. So halfway, if you know, if it doesn't perform as it should, then we just abort. Engine failure during rolling, just power back, come to a stop. Engine failure right after takeoff, then we try to find a field maybe to the left, because the right is quite hilly, so usually the left side would be a bit better. If we already have enough altitude, then obviously we have more choices, then we'll see what's available. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, we are ready to go. So we'll just turn on the lights over here. So we'll go full power. We'll check the RPM is good. Check that the engine T's and P's are in the green range, which is temperature, pressure. yeah, other than that, there's nothing else. Basically just that. Make sure that it has the performance, and then we release the brake and watch for, I believe, 55 knots, maybe a little bit less, but yeah, around 55 knots. Then we rotate. Make sure that, of course, runway 03, DI is 03, compass is 03, so we are correct on the correct runway. Compass is working as well, which is very important. We need a bit of right rudder just to align ourselves with the runway. So that's there, so we rotate. Usually maintain about, I would say, 65, so that's way too much. Yeah, about 65, which is about there. Alright, 700, make a left turn. And we are clear of obstacles, so we can go flaps up. And speed up to about 75. 75 is pretty good. Alright, we'll probably climb up to about 2000, and I'm actually not using any rudder right now, but you can see that the ball is actually balanced, which is not correct. You usually need quite a lot of rudder input, especially when you have full power going. Alright, we are coming up to 2000, so nose down, let it gain speed, and then we'll reduce the power. To about 2100, it's about right. Yeah, about there. Then we'll just trim, make sure that we're not going to be climbing or descending. The trim on X-Plane is a little bit too sensitive. Cannot get it right. Right, so I'm just looking at the criteria over here. So we did short field takeoff, so that's good. We'll probably do engine failure a little bit later. And I'll just double check my speed because I was saying 75. I'm not sure if that's right. I think it's about 72 actually. No, it's actually 74. VX is 62, so we were a little bit fast. But yeah, 75 climb is pretty good. On the VX climb, we probably should maintain a little bit close to 60. A bit more than 60, obviously, 62. Alright, so we just head out over there and I'll try to find out what I need to do. So we can do a medium turn. Usually we need a little bit more power, rudder as well, just to make sure that it's balanced. It's a lot harder in real life, but it's a lot easier in the sim. Make sure that we are not descending. Alright, we just did a medium turn. That should be, it's pretty standard, so it's not very difficult. Alright, slow flight. So that is something that I did on my previous flight. So basically what you have to do is go power to idle, and then bring in flaps 1, watch for the balloon, and then maintain 70 knots. We're a bit slow now. And maintain altitude as well. We lost a bit of speed over there. So we'll climb back to 2000 and then maintain 70 knots. Oh, actually this is the poor visibility configuration, sorry. Yeah, I got it mixed up. What is the slow flight speed? I'm trying to think. I think it could be like close to 60 actually. Slow flight. Yeah, I don't remember. It's it must be a lot slower than 70. Because poor visibility is 70, so slow flight has to be a bit slower than that. Right, so there's one that I know that I need a lot of work in, and that's compass turns. So the issue with compass turns is obviously everything is on the opposite side, so it's a little bit confusing. Right now we are heading west, so say I need to make a turn to 050, so that will be on our right. So 050 is also on the northern half. Yes, on the northern half. So that we will have to overturn by, I can't remember now. I think it's maybe 5 degrees. Let's give it a try. I mean, I can't remember how much I have to overturn it by. Oh, we are climbing a little bit there. So we'll we'll level off at 0.55. Oops, a little bit too steep. So 0.4, 0.55 and level off. Oh, it's telling me it's 0.6. So yeah, the compass on Explain it's not very accurate because it's not like real world compass. But yeah, I think it's should be 5 degrees. I'll have to double check actually. Do we have compass over here? Compass. Maybe if I do a search, that might be a bit easier. Compass 64. Yeah, it doesn't say, so if I can maybe look it up. Compass turns, because I can't remember like where we have to roll off. So the area between the desired headings and the indicated heading on 000 and 180 is approximately 30 degrees. Yeah, so north and south is 30 degrees, and then if it's 30 degrees on the other side, I think it's 10 degrees, and then when you are quite close to east and west, it's obviously going to be pretty close to 0. Let's do a... Yeah, my computer is really slow right now. But if we can maybe do a precautionary landing, and then we'll do a forced landing without power. I think my stalls are alright, so I don't really need to practice my stalls. I think my stalls is pretty good. Well, I'm going to explain a lot of the fields are pretty flat anyway, so that's not something that I'm too worried about. In real life though, it's a lot harder because this part of the area is quite hilly, so there's not a lot of choices. Right, so precautionary landing, we have to pick a field. So let's say there's just assume that there is a field over here, just to the left. Not sure if you can see. Assuming that that's our field, so we'll come over and then we'll descend down to 500 feet. So we're basically assessing like the field, make sure that it is correct. Well, I mean not like correct, but suitable. Actually, I have the notes over here. If I can just take a quick look, because it's not something that I do very often. If I still have it somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, so just making sure, so on our first pass, we just have to make sure that I've already lost sight of the field. I'm not sure which one we were supposed to use. Let's pick the brown field over there. That's the easiest one to to identify. I think we are pretty close to 500 actually, because the elevation here is quite high. So maybe we'll maintain, say 800 feet. That should be pretty good. Yeah, so for our first pass, we basically go on the same direction. We make sure that the direction that we are landing on is shown on our compass. So maybe we can land on that side. Obviously, we have to take into account of like the wind and everything. The wind is actually coming that way, so maybe this way is actually a bit better. Okay, just assume that this is our first pass. So the approach path and the go around path is pretty clear. We do have some terrain behind, so we have to watch out for that. And then the field looks alright. I mean, it's explained, so it's not very realistic. And then heading is 060, so we can actually bump that over there. So we know we are heading this way, that's our runway direction. Alright, so we'll make a turn over here, make it right 1. Oops, we are descending a bit over there. Make sure that we climb back up. Alright, so over here we'll make the passenger brief. We'll say, oh hey, look, we have some issues, maybe weather, maybe aircraft. We have to make an emergency precautionary landing. So we're landing on the field just to the left, the brown area. So make sure that you're tied up, secure your seat belts. Make sure no sharp objects, and when we land, just vacate the aircraft if possible, and also vacate to the back, because we don't want people running to the front, just in case that the engine is still running. So we'll do a turn now. And then we can actually like configure for landing. So we could go idle, and we are sinking quite a bit. Where is our runway? Oh, I think it's over there. We have gone way past it. Alright, let's go full flaps. So maintain 500 feet over here. So on this second pass, we basically have to time to see if the runway is long enough. So we usually do about 70 knots as well. Maybe a bit less, and we have to time it for 10 seconds. Yeah, 70 knots for 10 seconds. That will pretty much guarantee us a long enough runway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say 10 seconds. It's long enough, so we go around. So full power, positive climb, flaps to 10 degrees. Just give it a couple of seconds, make sure that it's stable. Alright, I think we are high enough. Alright, so we have to extend the downwind a little bit over here, just to give us a bit more space. A little bit off to the left though. Yeah, about there is right. Okay, we can make a turn. So there's our field, and we can go full flaps. Probably might want to go a bit faster than that. It's a little bit slow. I think we are a bit high as well, actually. Yeah, I think we should be able to make it, actually. Yeah, I think we can make it. So we'll go around. A bit slow. Yeah, so we'll pitch for VX, which is 62 knots. And then go flaps 20. Hold it there. Flaps 10. And flaps up. So we have to pitch for 75, which is about there. Yeah, I think that's alright. I mean, yeah, I have to refer back to my notes because it has been a little while since I did this. And I just need to close my window. It's getting a bit dark outside. Okay. Oh, I forgot to do my pen calls. That's right. Huh. That's something that I'll have to take note of. I forgot to do my pen calls. And I forgot to do the landing checks, the pre-landing checks. So brakes, undercarriage, fuel, mixture, ignition, and what else? I think there's a few more. So brakes, undercarriage, mixture, fuel. There's two more, H and W. G, I can't even remember. What's HW? I think we'll just level off over here. Otherwise we're going to get a bit too high. I think H is for harness and W is I can't remember. Can't be weather. I don't think it's weather. What is there in the cockpit that's that starts with W? Yeah, I really can't think of anything that says W. I'll see if I can find out. So go pre-landing checks. Whoops. 3 landing checks for Cessna 172. Let's see if I can find it over here. Right, before landing checklist, so yeah, so seatbelts, mixture, radio, landing lights, and carpet, which we don't have. So brakes, undercarriage, mixture, brakes, undercarriage, mixture, fuel. So fuel top, fuel selector, mixed ignition, and what else? Harness, so that's seat belts. There's one more. There's a W. I can't remember what that is, to be honest. Yeah, I really can't think of what the W stands for. But I think that's good enough. I mean, we got pretty much everything except that last one. I don't think it's that important, because if it's important, I would have remembered it. So yeah, I don't think it's that important. Some flights we may have to turn on the lights, obviously, because we do turn it off once we take off. Over here in the training area, because it's a common frequency zone, so they do encourage that you have the lights on just to increase visibility. Alright, what else do I need to do? So I did compass, I did precautionary landing. I think I need to do something else. We won't do stalls because I've already done that. I mean in real life I did that. I think I did that pretty alright. Steep turns, it's not great. So we can maybe do a steep turn. Just to turn back to 300 degrees, or heading west actually. Alright, so we make a right turn. Usually we have to do like hazel checks and all those things. Do we have to do a hazel check for steep turn? No, we don't. It's only for stalls. Yeah, okay. So we're clear left, clear ahead, clear right. So we go 10, 20, 30, increase the power and the back pressure. Oops, we are climbing. Shouldn't be climbing. And now we are dropping. Oh, we have already gone past west, so we'll maybe do like do another turn. So that's 45 over there, and we are descending. So it should be maybe about there, I would say. And we are dropping again. Yeah, it should be about here, a little bit lower maybe. Yeah, I think that's about right. So it should be, oh, we are getting back to 30 degrees. Yeah, so it's something like this. That should keep us level. All right, we are where we have to be. Yeah, it's just getting the angle right because it's quite hard to judge. Alright, what else do we have to do? First landing without power, so that's one that we haven't done. Low flying. Yeah, so low flying, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. Let's say we can do one forced landing over here. So we'll go power off. Oh, we have lost power. Pitch for best glide speed, which is 70 knots. So it's about there. And then we have to just trim it. Okay, so first thing first, check mixture is full power. Obviously, if we have this is simulated, obviously, so if it's not, then we obviously push the power the throttle. Just make sure that it's not that. Check fuel cock is in, and then we can maybe adjust the fuel tank left, right. Make sure that it's not one of that. Still not working, we can turn on the fuel pump, change the magnetos to left, right, see if that does anything. If it still doesn't, then yeah, we know that we are in big trouble. I see a brown field just to the left, so that looks like a good place. So make a left turn here. We'll try to limit our bank angle as well, because the more we bank, the more altitude we lose. So there's a whole procedure. Actually, I think the one in front of us might be a bit of a better one. This one, I think this one is a better choice. So assuming that we are gonna land like northern, yes, like that direction. So we have to have our 1,500 foot point and 1,000 foot point. That's our indications. And then obviously we have to brief the passengers, so telling them, look, we have engine failures, I'm gonna land in the field right in front of us, actually below us. Take out sharp objects, make sure your seatbelts are secure, make sure you brace, and then yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, after we land, then get out of the aircraft, head to the back, or to a shed somewhere, find help. I think we are pretty close to 1,000 foot actually, because the terrain here is pretty high. So make an early turn. So abeam the threshold. We should be at 1,000, which I think we are pretty close. but we are too close to the field as well. So make a bit of a right turn and then make a left turn. And then make a left turn, we can bring in the flaps. That will give us a bit more room. And I think the field is just over here, isn't it? Ooh, we are banking a bit too much over there. I've lost the field. Is it that one in front of us? Or is it the one in front of us? Yeah, I think it's the one over there. So, ooh, we are actually lost a lot of speed over there. Or could be this one over here. I think this one works a bit better, so we'll just do this one. Yeah, I've totally lost the feel because it's just so different over here. It's quite hard to tell. Alright, positive climb, flaps up. I didn't even have time to do a mayday call. Yeah, on the sim I feel like it takes a lot less time to get down. In the real aircraft, it actually takes a lot longer. So I'm not sure if it's like the sim thing or something else. I'm not sure, but yeah, I feel like in the real aircraft we get a bit more time. Yeah, in the sim it feels like everything moves like a lot quicker, and it descends a lot quicker as well. Maybe because I was losing a lot of speed as well, so we were descending a bit quite a lot, which is not good. Definitely have to keep an eye on the airspeed indicator, just to make sure that we don't spin or stall. Low flying. I feel like low flying is... I don't think we'll do that over here in this airport. I mean, I know that they have a low flying area somewhere, but I don't think they'll do it because it's not like really close, it's quite far away, I think. Alright, I think the airport is somewhere in front, so we just head back. And then we will we're actually right next to it. Oh, it's just to the left. Alright, so we'll make a left turn over here. And then we'll descend down to 1,700 for the overhead join. Wait, where is the airport? Is it that one? No, it's not. I've lost the airport. Or is it over there? No, I don't see it. Oh, actually we are right on top of it. Okay. And we have just busted our altitude there. We should be at 1700. But I need to get visual on the airport first, because I still have no visual of the aerodrome. Still not sure where it is. It's just to the left. Oh yeah, I think I see it. Yep, it's this one over here. Alright, so 03 is in use. Non-traffic side is on that side, so we'll come in here and then we'll descend on the non-traffic side once we are on that side. Okay, and descend down to 1300 or 1200 actually. So landing on that side, which is not 03. I think that's 21, right? Yeah. So 21 is a bit more challenging because there is a terrain. This side should be a bit easier. So like a turn now. We are a bit high. Okay, yep, so somewhere around here. We're still climbing, so we just need to go down to 1200. So this is sort of like my landmark. So there's this sort of like a quarry over here. So this is where I start my turn and configure the aircraft. So pre-landing checks, brakes, mixture rich, fuel cock in, fuel selector is on both, lights are on, magnetos is on both, and we are good. So we can actually start our descent here. And we can bring in the flaps as well. So So flaps to 10. Watch for the balloon. I can't really see the runway very well from here. It's a lot harder to see in the sim. Is it over there? Could be over there actually. Yeah, I think it's over there. So we turned a little bit early, but that's fine. Let's go flaps 20. Flaps 20 shouldn't balloon as well. It's only flaps 10 that balloons, and then 20 it just acts add a lot of drag. Yeah, it's a lot easier to see in real life. In the sim, it's not very obvious. Full flaps. Now we are lined up. Oh, a bit low. Oh, very low. And cut the power. Oh, I think we landed a little bit early there. I think before the threshold actually. I think we did alright today. It's good to have like all the memory refresh before my BFR flight tomorrow as well. I think that's about it actually. So we have like slow flights, we have steep turns, stalls, precautionary landing, forced landing, steep turns, I think I already said that. We have, yeah, short field landing, short field takeoff, and yeah, I think that's all there is. Yeah, I hope it gives you a little bit of an insight of what a BFR is. It's basically the same as a flight test, like a PPL flight test, but the only thing is you don't have like a what we call the category A instructor, which is the examiner for PPL, but for a BFR you only need like a BCAT, category B instructor. So yeah, they just make sure that you are proficient in everything, up to standard with the PPL sort of standard. Then yeah, they'll just sign you off. So yeah, that's just what it is. But yeah, other than that, I think we are I think we are good here. I'm not going to taxi, but it's gonna take a long time. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Ooh. It's very loud. I hope you enjoy some of these exercises that I'm doing. Hopefully give you a bit of an insight into like what our PPL has in terms of like exercises and, well, not exercises but maneuvers and all those things. There's quite a few more that you have to do that I didn't do because I've already done it on my previous BFR flights, and therefore this signed off. So only focusing on a lot more of the other ones that I wasn't signed off. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This don't even know how long this video is. 1.5 hours. Yeah, it's kind of long, but yeah, usually that's how long it takes for a flight. Usually, anyway, it's about 1.5 hours, 1 hour, just to go through everything, make sure that all the maneuvers they can sign it off. Then yeah, um, hopefully everything goes well tomorrow. And yeah, this is just a little bit of a site. What do I even call it? Like a side view of what I do in real life, but on the sim, just so I can also do a bit of practice just to refresh my memory. There are a few things, of course, that I've noted just now during the flight that I need to improve. So there's quite a lot of things, moving things. There are a lot of different sort of like flight characteristics that I cannot simulate in the sim as well, because it's not like 100% accurate. So yeah, everything is a little bit different, but it's good to sort of practice like the procedures and everything. That's what explain is pretty good for. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, feel free to give me a thumbs up. That would be very much appreciated. And as I say in the earlier in the video, if you have any questions about like PPL, or like flight reviews, flight tests, or the aircraft like Cessna. I only fly the 172. I've flown the Diamond 20, but yeah, not very. I haven't got a lot of hours on the 20. I got about 50 hours, and then I've got like 90 hours on the Cessna 172. So so if you have any question about like aircraft or anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'll try my best to help you out. If you're new to my channel as well, definitely hit that subscribe button and press that bell notification, and you'll know when I upload a new video, because I don't really have a schedule. My schedule is sort of like quite fluid. Just have things that pop up suddenly that I have to do, or things that I have to do, flights, work, all those things. Just press the bell notification if you want to get a notification. Then you will get notified by YouTube when I do upload. But yeah, I think that's all there is. Check out my website as well, notanother.travel. It's all about like flight reviews, airlines, lounges, hotels, hotel reviews, city reviews, travel tips and tricks. I know there's no like traveling right now, but if you're still into those kind of things, or if you know someone who is into that, send them over to my website. Go check it out. I do put a lot of effort into that, so any support will be very much appreciated. It's not another travel. I'll put the link in the description so you can go check it out. I think I have the link to my Patreons as well, so if you feel like helping out with my work, which is a bit of YouTube as well. Make sure to check out my Patreons. I'll try to upload a bit more content on my YouTube in the near future. I'm thinking of doing a bit of more like other type of like gaming stuff. So maybe I'm playing like other games. So yeah, I'm planning on uploading those as well. So if you're into those things, then yeah, definitely would be good to show your support by subscribing to my Patreons. Is there anything else? I think that's about it. I'm really thirsty right now. I haven't been talking this much and not drink, so I'm gonna get my drink now, and I'll yeah, hopefully catch you all in my next video. Have a good day, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are, and yeah, I'll catch you all in